2.7%, which equates to 223.9 billion gallons. It's still way above drought warning or anything like that, and I'm sure between what we get tonight and maybe tomorrow, well, it could be right back over that.
And the snow.
Yeah. So everybody knows, if you haven't heard about it, there is a program on Saturday the 29th down at the Tustin Hall in Narrowsburg, and it has to do with cell towers. The UDC is struggling for the river basin to figure out how you can get proper coverage with cell phones, yet at the same time don't put obtrusive things or things that look really out of place. So I'm sure they're going to be working on that and trying to put that together, but it's very, very necessary for the cell towers to come into our Delaware River basin because of many, many needs, for the least of which is calling up your sweetheart. The other part is safety. The biggest thing about it is for safety. That's going to be at 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. 12 p.m. in the Tustin Hall on the 29th. So if anybody's interested, I think you could go. They might be interested in seeing that.
It's a Saturday.
It's a Saturday. The UDC has its annual awards banquet on April 27th. That's the last Sunday in April. It's going to be held at Hennick's Local, which is what we know as the Eldred Preserve. It has changed hands, I guess, has a new name. That's the 27th of April. I just got an email this afternoon. In fact, it's timed. They sent it out at 4:36 p.m. And I got it this afternoon. Well, that was yesterday. I got it this afternoon when I opened up my email. Congressman Gibson will be the speaker. And I think that was probably a good choice for them to have. One of the things, he's going to give his speech at 6 o'clock. And usually when somebody like that comes in, they're in there for a short time. They don't have a long time to spend because their schedules are just so filled. So he may be speaking, he is going to speak at 6 o'clock, and whether he hangs around after that or not, I don't know. There'll be a press release, and this is part of the press release. He, of course, is our representative to the U.S. Congress. He serves on the House Armed Service Committee, Agricultural Committee, that's a good one, and associated subcommittees. Congressman, he grew up in Kinderhook, and he, at the age of 17, he joined the National Guard. He later earned an ROTC commission at Siena College, where he graduated magna cum laude with a BA in history. He earned an MPA and a PhD in government from Cornell University. He's the author of a book called Securing the State, a book on national security decision making, and that was published in 2008. Over the course of his 24-year Army career, Gibson rose to the rank of colonel and deployed 7 times. This included 4 combat tours to Iraq, separate deployments to Kosovo, the southwest U.S. for a counter-drug operation, and Haiti, where he commanded the 83rd Airborne Division, 2nd Brigade Combat Team during the opening month of that humanitarian relief program. Colonel Gibson earned 2 Legions of Merit, 4 Bronze Stars, the Purple Heart, the Combat Infantryman's Badge with the Star, the Master Parachutist Badge, and the Ranger Tab. His units also won a number of various awards. Other key assignments included tours of teaching political science at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. He served as a congressional fellow, the U.S. Representative Jerry Lewis, and the chairman of the Defense Appropriations Subcommittee. He completed the Hoover National Security Affairs Fellowship at Stanford University. Gibson was also the Distinguished Honor Graduate of the U.S. Army Command and General Staff. He retired in 2010, and they live in Kinderhook. I thought that was kind of I didn't know he had that kind of a background. Personally, I didn't. I should know, but I didn't know. So that's going to be in a press release. And if you're interested in going, it's very nice afternoon. You went with me last year, and we had a wonderful time. What they do is they give awards for the environmental achievements They also give awards for, like if there's a rescue on the river, there has been some very fine rescues, and they just give awards to a lot of service that is being done in the valley you don't think about or hear too much about. So that's it. That's all I have to report. That's open to the public too, by the way, and if you're interested, you have to call the UDC or let me know, and so that you can get tickets. It has to be, get tickets ahead of time.
You know, we kind of, because Bill's not here, we breezed over
Was that
highway
17 minutes?
superintendent.
Being good.
Well, I don't know, I don't know, a couple more minutes. Bill mentioned to me today that he's buying sealer oil and asphalt, two different kinds of mixes,
For the road.
and he's gonna buy it on state bid, which does not require a bid.
Yeah.
And just to let you know that he's doing it, that's all.
I think it does require a resolution.
It does?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay, well then, I'll entertain a resolution.
I'll make the move.
What's the
We need
price
it.
on it?
Second.
Well,
State
it's
bid
with
is
the state
best
bill.
price you can get.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
I
no
mean,
better
I do
price.
have what it is now.
Actually, it's already bid by the state, so
Yep.
you don't have to
Okay,
bid it.
okay.
You just
Okay.
have to.
Yeah.
You just
I'm
But
say
we
you
do
want.
need
That's why they
I'm thinking
call
of
it
something
state,
else.
Yeah.
that's why they call it state.
I can
Right.
tell you what the price he gave me.
Yeah. If it's gonna be the lowest price, we're gonna have to take it anyhow.
Okay, and now I'm up to me, right? I don't have a whole lot, but just a couple things I wanna mention. The reorganizational meeting requires that we take this, emergency, plan out,
Yeah.
dust it off, and look it over.
In the process.
And so, I ask all you guys to do that. Any questions, we'll talk about them. We already have a couple. Al and I spoke about a couple.
Can't do it in 15 minutes.
No.
17.
I spent quite a bit
We're
of
not
time.
gonna do it today, yeah. I am signed up for an emergency management, training course at, on the 22nd of April at Swan Lake, at the Swan Lake Training Facility, which kind of dovetails right into this. I shouldn't say, I'm not signed up.
Well, we're almost
Where,
there.
geez, it's hard to get in that state, it's really, but anyway, I will be going there. I have a resolution from it really comes from everybody, it comes from the County Supervisors Association, but, and it's regarding to support 2 casinos in Sullivan County. And they're asking us to do a resolution in support of their quest for 2 casinos. I would entertain somebody moving the resolution.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
Okay. Nobody's, can you second it? I guess you can.
I mean, everybody reads the paper, the problem is Orange County, you know?
Yeah.
If Orange County gets one of these things, Sullivan County will be dead in the water.
Yeah.
So that's the reason for the
Exactly.
resolution, and, from an economic benefit perspective, I think it's a worthwhile thing. So, I got one on the floor, can I get a second? I mean, if I
There's good and bad, you know.
I really don't think us doing it, or not
You
doing
don't
it is gonna make any
I don't
difference
think so.
anyhow.
I don't think so.
And even though that I personally am against it, I would say that you go ahead and, I would.
Well, if I second,
Do
I'm
this
still not gonna get
regulation.
it.
You s-
We still gotta have, enough votes to, even if I second it, it's not gonna.
I don't think they're gonna get 2 anyhow, but I'll go along with it against my better wishes.
You'll second it.
Oh, I thought you seconded it.
Well, I can, I mean, but.
Well, go ahead.
Okay, all right, all right, all those in favor?
I'll go
Aye.
along with it.
1, 2,
Negative.
Okay, Cindy?
3.
Yeah, you know, I probably will abstain,
Okay,
because I'm,
All right, the resolution does pass, go 3 to 2. Right?
Yes, you're wrong too, right.
Okay, what else? Let me look, hang on my notes here. We talked about the tower, the communication tower siting workshop on the 29th. Training, purchase the asphalt, we talked. That's all I got. That's all I have for my report. We have any council comment? Anybody wants to talk about? Any old business? No, we don't have any old or new, other than what we spoke about.
I mean, the only new thing is possibly, putting Callicoon on making it a historic district.
Something you're working on.
Right, something I'm working on, so I'm waiting for the paperwork and everything to start that process to, you know, get a consultant to do a whole survey and everything, and that's what this grant, part of the grant is for. And, you know, I'd submit it, and, we'd find out in August if we get the monies to, you know, pay for a consultant to start the process.
You know, there is, you've probably read in the newspaper about the county is applying for a grant to have river access in all the river towns. And each town, you know, each town has a problem, some more than others, you know. And we have in the town of Delaware, we have a site that's already there. The problem is it's cut off because of the emergency channel that they put in to save the youth center and our sewer system. If you guys wanna look at this, this is an aerial view of what it looks like. Now, and this being this is where my finger is, that's the existing site that nobody can use because it's cut off. Now, obviously it's not used for a long time, it needs some work. But that's what they're thinking for the town of Delaware. I mean, other towns have their own unique problems and things they're dealing with. But what they're thinking about doing to solve this problem is to cut another channel, not different from that one, just below it, so that the channel goes below the road. That'll do two things. First of all, it'll allow the launch area to be used and the road to be used. But also it takes it a kind of a way, if you look at that little square box, I don't know if anybody is familiar with that, but that's where the town of, that's where the Callicoon Water Company well is.
This is where the well is, right
And
there. Where
it's
your
kinda
mark is
close.
there? Yeah, right
Yeah, you
there.
see
Yeah.
a little,
yeah,
The
and
road
so
down
that's
there
gonna
with the
help
flood.
them as well.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
So, and that's not carved in stone, but that's kind of what what this committee is coming up with. Now, again, they have other, Long Eddy has a unique problem there, Pond Eddy really has a problem. They use the 10 Mile River area that Landers already rents from the Boy Scouts as an area down there. So, I mean, they're looking at each town. I'm just keeping you apprised of what's going on.
Can I say something
So
about that?
would they fill
Can you
in
what?
this?
Can I comment on that a little?
Sure.
Have you consulted with Soil and Water,
Yes.
and they're okay with that?
Yep.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, Brian has been to these meetings.
Yeah, okay.
He was invited and, yeah. And, you know, I think, I had a comment that I thought maybe they ought to hire an engineer to make sure that it'll work. Brian seems pretty confident
Well,
that,
Brian's an engineer, I mean.
he's pretty confident this
Yeah,
will work.
if he
If
gets
the
to
other one
work,
worked, he's
yeah.
pretty sure this will work.
I was afraid that moving it would change the angle, because it kinda acts like a siphon, the way it's set up, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would they fill this present trench in?
I don't know that they'd fill the whole trench in, but they would do the road so that you could use the road.
Up in here.
Yeah, yeah.
Fix that.
The other thing is, kind of a far-fetched thought. At one time, weren't they talking about putting the dike by the sewer plant?
Oh, that goes way back now,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, yeah, you know, that's not dead, by the way.
Okay, what
But that
I'm
dike
saying
doesn't-
was, I don't know if this is possible, but this whole thing here is a bottleneck. The Delaware River is really rushing up the Calicoon Creek,
Right.
basically. And if they just peeled all this off, I don't know what the volume of earth is, and truck it up there and make their dam, and then,
We tried,
You
when
know.
Brian and I were working on this, when I was part of the youth center, we tried to get them to just get rid of all this. So
Right,
it could
yeah.
just go south instead of going north.
exactly, yeah.
And the DEC would not approve it. And the Army
You got a
Corps of
better chance of
Engineers,
being
we had
the
the
next
Army Corps of
man on the
Engineers in
moon.
on it and
So
everything.
that's all been argued over already.
Yeah, years
Okay.
ago.
What
can't.
happens is that this,
That's a lot of cubic yards. of wind,
this,
so.
the Calicoon Creek is trying to push water
That's
Uh,
right.
up the
It's-
Delaware
it's-
instead of
yeah.
down.
It,
Right.
that don't work in nature, you know?
Exactly.
But you can't tell that to the Army Corps of Engineers because they didn't wanna hear it. I brought them in the middle of the interstate bridge and said, look, you can see that it goes
Yeah.
north.
Right,
Well, that's why all that gravel has been deposited.
yeah.
I mean, traditionally, like behind Landers and right below the bridge, I mean,
Yeah.
that's always been water, and it's nothing but gravel now.
Right.
That's why we've legislated common sense out of everything,
Common sense never entered into it.
no?
Yeah, not in the slightest.
Could you hold that up so that Isaac could film that or do a close-up and then, if people afterwards?
Well,
would
you know,
like to look
he
at
can,
that?
he's welcome to look at this. The only thing is, this is not,
It's not official, I understand.
it's not stone yet, and it will be soon, but I'm sure when it is, you know, rather than create a lot of confusion,
I'm just kicking this around a little bit, you know, the thought.
and, which is what's going on with this committee.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, they got, our problem can be solved fairly easily in comparison to some of them, I mean.
Yes, we're in a unique position there.
Yeah, I mean, just to give you an example, I mean, Pond Eddy,
That's crazy.
everybody doesn't have to know this, but the county owns a piece of property in Pond Eddy between Route 97 and the river. Now, you've been, you know, like to the Millbrook in there. Now, how much distance is there between the guardrails and the river? Okay, and this is about the
Exactly,
topography,
yeah.
and they wanna put a landing in there.
A lot of steps or an elevator.
So, I mean, that's a real challenge, and I don't know what they're gonna do with that, but, the county happens to own that, and they're leveraging that for this grant, so.
Maybe they can take the Pond 80 Bridge and parallel to 97, use it for parking.
Easy way, just wherever you want the trench, lay a Bangalore torpedo in there.
You know, it does have, and this, and other places also have, you know, Long Eddy has some challenges there,
Yeah.
so. In any case, just keeping you in the loop.
Okay.
I have nothing else. Can I get a resolution to order the vouchers and order the bills?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Public comment. Anybody have anything, comments or peeves?
Well, I thought that you might have a secondary, place for that river access on River Road there, where, before Tower Road, where the railroad owns that piece. You could have parking on one side and the access on the other. And then you wouldn't have to disrupt the channel that you got. But, you know, that's owned by the railroad, I believe. And the strip on the riverside is owned by somebody else.
Yeah. It was discussed.
Yeah.
Along with a couple other places. But, yeah, that was discussed, and because of the nature of the road there, it's kind of, you know, it's being used now by, you know, outdoor outfitters that,
Yeah.
and by individuals that back their vehicles down there and let them, you know, launch their boats.
Well, not all the way up there where they launch the boats. I mean, further up, there's kind of like a wide spot there. As soon as you get off the river road.
Oh, you mean where they camped? Where
Yeah,
there's
where
some
they used
summer
to camp,
camping and-
yeah, right in there. I don't mean in that spot where you're talking about.
It was discussed, though, the whole place was discussed, and, they felt that there wasn't enough parking there. As there is a problem with all of them.
Just a thought.
Already, yeah, I mean, and the thought was brought up, and I'm not saying that, maybe that's where they'll wind up, but right now, though, it seems like this was what they're thinking for the town of Delaware. And that's just my take on it after attending the meetings.
County paying for all these,
It's a county grant, a state grant that the county applied for. This is all the planning part. I imagine the planning will cost more than the implementation. That's why we need some more grants to plan. Okay, any other public comment? Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Also move.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
How we do?
Hey, it's 30.
7:35.
Ah,